luggage will be with you as soon as I unload it. Now, if you are looking for activities to do on the island, make your way down to the Red Shed, which is at the end of the wharf road there, and they should be able to help you out with any activities there are to offer during your stay here. Even if you are here just for the day, go in there and they should be able to sort you out with any tour. It runs until the last ferry at 3:30. Other than that, I hope you enjoy your stay and we'll see you on the return leg.
오케이, 고맙습니다. 하고 계신 거예요?
완전 뭘 되는 대로 해야지. 혼자 반야만 안 돼.
Just for anyone out in the back deck there, can you just sit down or make those windows clear so you can go to the... That's the one.
자기랑 어떻게 연락해서 만나게 한다고. 그러고 나가야 되는 거 아니야?
어쩐지 그런 것 같아요. 스카하고 그 다음부터 안 들여다 봤거든요. 뭐 그 정도. 여행을 하다 보면 갑자기 결정할 때가 많습니다. 우리가 스튜어트 아일랜드를 올까 말까 하다가 아침에 도착하자마자 바로 티켓이네요.
네.
예.
Yeah.
네. 아니.
Just came in, you know, the big ones. Masks are optional if you like, whatever you come. In the village, tell you all about life here. And we'll go up to Observation Rock up the back there, up on the hill. Beautiful view of the inlet over on the other side there as well. You're a track out there to the west. 7 kilometres of road on the island, so coming over like you guys, so you're very welcome. I'll tell you more about that as we head on through. This is officially known as Oban, not Oban, like the weather forecasters like to say sometimes. Oban, it's Oban, or Orban, if you want to be a bit more Scots. It's Gaelic for Little Bay, very appropriate. But actually it hardly ever gets called Oban, really. It's just mostly Half Moon Bay. It's got a bit of an identity crisis there. Just about always Half Moon Bay, but officially the village is Oban. Yeah, so anyway, let's get underway. Grab a seatbelt if you can find a lap belt there. Alright. So just to clarify, this is the only village on the island. I sometimes wonder if people think, oh, there's more to it, but there isn't. There's just this and a whole lot of wilderness I'll tell you about as well. Start with something pretty exciting, our little Foursquare. Our only shop on the island.
Holy shop.
It's a great little shop really, it's really well stocked, loads of fresh fruit and veg and, you know, pretty much normal mainland sort of Foursquare prices. Quite a few of us will do a bit of a bulk shop over in Invercargill occasionally. Do a bit of online shopping, but it's really good for the visitors and good for the basics there. Last time I went to Pack and Save in Invercargill, I managed to spend $600 just on myself. But that should last a little while, hopefully. Stock up on the important stuff. Yeah, so we're going to head up Main Road here, but just up Argyle Street here, you'll start to see the Scots names around a lot more. Just up there by the flagpole, we've got our little medical centre. We don't have a doctor on the island, but we've got 2 full-time nurses, and they've got a couple of little ambulances in case there's a couple of emergencies at the same time. They've got regular clinic hours, but they're really available around the clock, and they really do look after us there. So, you know, we've got quite a few retired folk on the island, a few older folk. I know none of you will relate to that, but you could call them at 2 o'clock in the morning if you needed to, and they'll be at your house in 10 minutes. So, you know, you don't get that sort of service in the big city. So, you know, if there's any emergencies, we've got flights out to Invercargill anytime. Probably score a free flight to Invercargill if you had to. Helicopters are available for really serious stuff. And no chemist, of course, but you know, you can get a prescription sent over on the boat or on the plane that day. Not too many fires. And I can't emphasise enough, and about 70 different community groups, I believe. So everything from you know, conservation groups to gardening, which is just great. And this is our beautiful little museum. Has anybody had a chance to look in there yet? Yeah, maybe later on today. Yeah, no, it's a wonderful little museum for such a small place, and that only opened about a year ago, December 2020, really new. We've had a museum since 1960 in a couple of different locations, but yeah, built up a beautiful collection over the years, and really well worth checking out. And that's the result of 20 years of planning, fundraising, volunteer labour going into that, and about $3.8 billion worth of building in there. Building on the island is quite expensive in itself. A great place to learn more about the island, and just to give you in a little nutshell, it is a really unique community here and a unique history. They came on down here, abundant food supplies for them, especially the mutton bird, which they still harvest, and the fur seals, not anymore. And then European history goes back about as far as you can go as well. You know, you had the sealers and whalers coming through in the late 1700s or early 1800s, so long before organised migration. And again, a really unique situation. Some of the whalers from America and Britain decided to stop and stay. They were welcomed into the community that was here, the Maori community that was here at the time, and many of them married Maori women. So, you know, it sort of formed the basis of what we've got here today, which is pretty much a mixed race community, if you want to use that term. And there's families that are still here today that can trace their ancestry back to those early relationships, still here. And also then you've got the second wave of migrants, mostly coming from Scotland, especially the Orkney Islands and Shetland Islands, 1850s, 1860s, like a lot of Southland and South Otago, very Scottish ancestry as well. And they were the boat builders and the fishermen and farmers and that sort of second wave. That's Stu, our local cop. We'll tell you a bit more about Stu later on there. Our one and only little cop. Stu of Stewart Island. Stewart of Stewart Island. Probably how he got the job, maybe. Then we've got Doc here as well. Great resource if you're wanting to do some walks, you know, whether you want to do half an hour or 11 days or something in between. Pop in and check out Doc. Some really nice local flora and fauna information there as well. And that building basically looks after 91% of the island. So we're 85% national park, another 6% in forestry management. There's even some areas you can't access. And then we've got about 6% Māori land, which is also in conservation management these days. So you could say we're 97% conservation managed. And that leaves 3%, if my maths is correct. Are you following? 3% in private ownership. Right. And that's basically where we are here now, pretty much. A few little exceptions here and there, but we live in 3% of the island. It's just a whole lot of wilderness out there. There really is. Got to get out and explore it if you can. So that was Main Road. That goes up to the airstrip. Private airstrip up there. You can get a shuttle bus up to the airstrip. Originally it went right through to the inlet to a sawmill at Kaipipi Bay. but that's just a walking track now. And then we've got some of our other tour operators along here, Beaks and Feathers, Ruggedy Range. We've even got a food truck. We're getting very trendy here, us new. Yeah, getting a bit trendy with our food truck and our Facebook group and everything. Coffee and spuds and salads there. It's all pretty much takeaway options these days. It's just a whole lot easier. They've got a great little cinema here with our little yellow Bambina outside, the paparazzi Bambina, and our one and only parking meter. It's pretty much just used to tie up your dog. That's what that's there for, I think.
I love the red carpet.
Yeah, got a little bit of red carpet there. It's a beautiful little cinema. It's actually kind of a little plush, almost red velvet kind of cinema in there. It's really lovely. And if you have got a spare 40 minutes, they've got a short film festival on at the moment, but also regular showings of A Local's Tale. That's Lola in the window there on the poster. Lola might even be there to check you in as well. And it's a little short film about the island. It's an absolute hoot. And Lola narrates it, of course. $10, well worth checking out. Really good fun listening to Lola's stories about the locals and the island. Water taxis there if you want to really get out there and do some exploring. Really popular to do sort of a water taxi and walk combo or something like that as well. Got bikes for hire if you're feeling adventurous, e-bikes, scooters, cars available to hire if you want to check out a bit more. Fantastic restaurant, beautiful local kai moana. You've got, you know, locally caught blue cod, super fresh, and locally farmed salmon and mussels. Don't go in for food or drink. Got an amazing collection of old photographs. Looking area on the right there, of course, the shed.
Is that the BYO place, the shed?
Yeah, probably could actually. Sometimes referred to as the kick-on shed. That's where you end up at closing time. Kick on for a dawn out there, maybe. A beautiful little primary school, Te Kura o Rakiota, the kids of Rakiota. Fantastic little school there, just years 1 to 8, primary. About 35 kids enrolled there at the moment. And they get really well looked after in there. They've got 3 teachers for 35 kids. Yeah, wow, it's above average, of course. It's always a challenge with little country schools, you know, having 1 teacher for a range of ages. So 3 is really good, and the only reason they've got 3 is 1 is paid for by the community. Basically the local fishermen, long-standing tradition. The local fishermen donate excess catch, anything they can spare gets sold on behalf of the school, funds an extra teacher. How cool is that? High school, of course, means boarding in Invercargill or Dunedin. It's a bit of an expense, so that's when people might tend to move off the island for high school, the high school period. We've also got the Rugrats in there as well. We've got a preschool, it is called the Rugrats, and that's about 20 in there, I think, at the moment. So just about as many as primary school. They've got a big blue shed there with a swimming pool in there. They've got all the IT, all the gear. Another long-standing tradition, you know, 100 years or so we've had the school, and they've always learnt navigation and sailing skills, and they take little regattas and things and do kayaking, and that's a long-standing tradition for the island kids as well. Yeah, finish university. So the primary school kids regularly go up to Invercargill for sports events and, you know, arts fairs and science and all that sort of stuff, so they don't miss out on anything there at all. The Kai card, if you want something a bit more casual, hours keep changing, but basically lunch and dinner most days. It's kind of when they feel like opening a little bit. Here comes the Bambina on the right. That's Penny, operates the cinema. We all know everybody here. Yeah, the Kai card. Incredible blue cod and chips. We're getting a thumbs up from Ian. Ian's already had some blue cod and chips, obviously.
No chips, just cod.
Just the cod. Just double serving of cod, no chips. Yeah, can't recommend it enough. Really, really good. That used to be the pie cart in Gore. It's got a bit of an interesting history. It got shipped over on the barge and remodeled as the card. That was the museum in there earlier on. Somebody's actually living in there now. That was originally one of the museum buildings. And then we've got our community centre here, just sort of coming to the end of the city tour. Check out our community centre here for 400 people, and again another 20 years of planning, fundraising, community labour going into that. And that opened in 1999, so they turned around and started on the museum project. That was another $3 million worth. I mean, a lot of government funds, of course, but thank you to the lotto buyers. But you know, even just organising that's a lot of work, just getting that off the ground. So that opened 99, debt free and with an income. Bit of a theme today. A local family donated a mussel line on their mussel farm. Mussel line's got about a ton of mussels on it. So that forms a regular income for the community centre. They also sell bottled water at the Four
Yeah, I
Square.
had them last night.
You had some last night?
Oh, they were awesome.
I think it's quite a good story, really. Yeah, we sell Stewart Island rainwater to the visitors. You've got to love the idea. And it might sound like a complicated exercise, maybe harvesting and bottling rainwater. It's not really. Don't tell anyone I told you this, but they just fill them up at the kitchen tap. Sell it to the tourists. Gotta love it. But it is genuinely rainwater, of course. We're not having on or anything. That is our only water supply. So it actually does come off the roof. And that's our water. We've got a few bores around, but it's mostly just rainwater. We get plenty. Apparently very similar to rainfall to Tauranga for some reason. We often get compared to you guys. But we do have it about 200 days a year. You probably get all yours in about a month or something, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually don't really, it surprises people really. I can't remember what the figure is, but we don't have a lot of rainfall, but it's just spread out a lot over about 200 days. I mean, it's nothing like the West Coast or Fiordland or anything like that, so yeah, but it's enough to keep us going anyway. So in there we've got a theatre, we have bands and comedians, we had the ballet here once upon a time. Big theatre, commercial kitchen, library open every morning, there's meeting rooms for hire, public toilets, a gym and a squash court apparently, neither of which I've been in. Apparently they're in there somewhere. And the big roof at the back is a full-size sports stadium, like an international basketball stadium size, which is just amazing. And we have the ball there every year as well.
The ball.
The ball. We have the island ball.
Oh, that would be fun.
Date's that?
It was about October. Yeah, every October. Pretty sure it was October. It was a Halloween theme this year. They do a theme every year. So yeah, big event in there. And then Pete Ross, the garage. Looks just like a shed maybe, but it is actually a garage. You've got a couple of pumps in there as well. He looks after our ageing fleet of vehicles here. A few old rust buckets, but they keep us going. How many cars do you think we've got for 400 people?
400.
You think, yeah, I think maybe 4 or 5. Apparently, according to Pete, it's about 600.
Oh.
1.5 each. Pretty much half a car for some of them as well. So he keeps them going there. And fuel, of course, is really expensive. It's about $3.10, $3.20 a litre. So it is really expensive. But, you know, we've got 27 kilometres of road, and yeah, so yeah, it'll last a few shopping trips and trips to the pub. Yeah. And he gets a guy over for Regos every year from Invercargill. So Regos and everything get done on the island and warrants. So range of accommodation wherever you guys are staying, unless you're on a day trip maybe. But yeah, pub, motel.